All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about the psychology of personal branding, basically the science behind what makes someone memorable, and how you can use that science to make your own brand stick. You know the feeling, right? You're scrolling, and then bam, one person's profile just grabs you. They just pop. It feels like magic or something, but it's really not. Turns out it's science. And if you get a handle on that science, you can build a brand that doesn't just get noticed, it earns trust. And when I say fast, I mean really fast. The window you have to make an impression is so small, it's practically instant. Now, I know, that can sound kinda terrifying, but stick with me. We're gonna break down exactly how to make those few seconds work for you, not against you.
Get this, 1/10 of a second. That's it. A study out of Princeton found that's all it takes for someone to form an impression of you just from looking at your face. I mean, think about that for a second. Before they've even read a single word you've written, a judgment is already being made.
And, that initial snap judgment then bleeds into everything else. Your profile picture, your banner, that little one-line bio, all of these things are working together or maybe working against each other to create an impression in less than 7 seconds. So the big takeaway here is you have to get control of that story from the very first glance. So the big question is, how do you make every single one of those precious seconds count? Well, it's not about throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's about tapping into some really powerful psychological principles that explain how our brains decide what and who is worth remembering. Let's dig into 3 of the biggest ones. Okay, first up is the von Restorff Effect, or the isolation effect. Basically, our brains are hardwired to notice whatever's different. Imagine a list of words, all in black, but one word is bright red. Which one are you going to remember? The red one, of course. For your brand, this means finding your signature trait. Maybe it's a killer tagline, a super unique sense of humor, or a distinct visual style, like how Sahil Bloom uses those black and white posts. Being different isn't just a style choice, it's literally a memory hack. Now, this leads to another really cool mental shortcut our brains take called the halo effect. This is where one strong, positive quality makes people assume everything else about you is positive too. So if your profile pic looks professional, if your design is super polished, people will subconsciously think, wow, this person must also be smart, competent, and trustworthy. It's an incredible way to build that instant credibility. And maybe the most underrated superpower here is just being clear. Our brains are, let's be honest, kind of lazy. They love efficiency and prefer things that are simple to understand. Psychologists call this cognitive fluency. And here's the kicker. When your message is simple and clear, it doesn't just get remembered more easily. It actually feels more trustworthy. I mean, just look at this. On one side, you have, I'm a holistic synergist facilitating scalable thought leadership. What does that even mean? It's just a cloud of buzzwords. Then on the other side, I help coaches get clients. Boom, simple, direct. You know exactly what they do and who they do it for. Which person do you trust more? It's a no-brainer. Always choose clarity. Okay, so you've managed to stand out, people get what you do, awesome. But that's really only half the game. To build a brand that actually lasts, you have to turn that initial attention into real, solid trust. And you do that by sending 3 absolutely essential signals. So according to the book, The Human Brand, trust really just boils down to 2 things, competence and warmth. Competence is you showing you know your stuff. You teach, you share your wins, you give people real value. But competence by itself can feel a little cold, a little robotic. That's where warmth comes in. This is you being a real human being, showing your personality, even your struggles, and actually engaging with people. And what's the glue that holds it all together? Consistency. Showing up day in and day out with that same core message. That's how you build reliability. Theory is great and all, but let's see what this looks like out in the wild. Here are 3 quick-fire examples of creators who are just absolutely crushing it with these psychological principles. First, you've got Ali Abdaal. He is a total master of mixing warmth, he's always smiling in his thumbnails, with straight-up competence. His language is super casual and educational, and he's constantly using social proof to show he knows what he's talking about. His brand just feels both incredibly credible and super approachable. It's the perfect combo. Next up, Dr. Julie Smith. If you want to see cognitive fluency in action, look no further. She takes these really complex psychological ideas and makes them so easy to understand with simple analogies and repetition. She's built enormous trust with millions by making mental health feel accessible, positioning herself as this guide who is both a total pro and totally relatable. And then, of course, there's Gary Vaynerchuk. This guy is the von Restorff effect in human form. That high-energy, tough-love vibe, his signature look, the way he hammers home his key messages over and over, it makes him impossible to forget. Look, you can love him or you can hate him, but you absolutely cannot ignore him. He carved out his own space by being completely, unapologetically different. All right, so how can you start putting all this stuff to work for yourself? We've boiled it all down into a simple 5-step blueprint you can use like right now to start building a brand that people actually remember. Okay, step 1, go fix that 7-second window. Make sure your profile pic, your banner, and your bio are all telling the same clear story. Step 2, audit for clarity. Seriously, grab a friend, show them your profile for 5 seconds and ask, what do I do? If they don't know, simplify. Step 3, find your signature thing, your von Restorff differentiator. Is it a catchphrase, a color? Step 4, build that warmth by sharing your why story. And finally, step 5, lock it all in with consistency. Pick a rhythm, a tone, a look, and stick with it. I want to leave you with this quote from Jeff Bezos because it just nails it. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. That's really what this is all about. It's the reputation that walks into a room before you do. But here's the thing. What if you could actually shape that story before they even start talking? That's the real power here. The psychology we just went through gives you the tools to do exactly that. You don't have to just let your brand happen to you. You can be the architect. You can build a brand that's real, memorable, and trusted. Now go build it.